The story of Raghav and the path to purification. In a small village near the banks of the Ganges, there lived a man named Raghav. He was a humble and hard-working man, known for his integrity and kindness. He lived a simple life, focused on his duties, and often engaged in acts of service to his community. However, Raghav was deeply troubled by a particular belief circulating in his village, one that said that after performing certain activities, a person was considered impure until they bathed and cleansed themselves. The activities mentioned included rubbing oil on the body, encountering the smoke from a funeral pyre, engaging in sexual intercourse, or even being shaved. According to this belief, anyone who had experienced these things was considered to be a Chandala, the lowest and most impure of individuals, until they bathed to purify themselves. Raghav was confused by this idea. He lived a life of mindfulness and purity, always seeking to understand the deeper meaning of life and truth. He had never been one to worry much about outward rituals, believing that true purity came from the heart and mind. However, this concept of impurity and purification troubled him. He couldn't understand why these activities were considered to make a person unclean, especially when they were a natural part of life. One evening, Raghav decided to seek the guidance of a wise elder in the village, an old sage named Vedan. Vedan was known for his deep spiritual wisdom and his understanding of life's complexities. Raghav approached him with his question, hoping to find clarity. "Master Vedan," Raghav began, "I have heard a troubling belief in our village, that after rubbing oil on the body, after encountering the smoke from a funeral pyre, after engaging in sexual intercourse, or after being shaved, one becomes impure. It is said that a person remains a Chandala, the lowest of the low, until they bathe and purify themselves. But I don't understand. Why is it that these natural acts and bodily experiences are considered to make us impure?" The old sage Vedan looked at Raghav with kind eyes and smiled. "Ah, my son," he said, "you ask a question that touches the very core of life and the understanding of purity. Let me tell you a story, one that will help you see beyond these rituals and beliefs." Vedan began, "Long ago, in the kingdom of Mahendra, there was a great king named Rajendra. King Rajendra was a wise and just ruler, beloved by his people. He had a deep understanding of the world and was constantly seeking ways to maintain harmony and balance in his kingdom. One day, he summoned his royal council to discuss a matter that had been troubling him. The priests and scholars had told him that certain actions, such as rubbing oil on the body, encountering funeral smoke, or engaging in intimate relations, made a person impure, and that one needed to bathe in order to regain their purity. The sage continued, King Rajendra called his most trusted advisor, a sage named Vishwanath, to speak on this matter. Vishwanath was known for his deep insight into the nature of the soul and the true meaning of purity. The king asked him, "Master Vishwanath, what is your view on this belief? Is it true that these actions make us impure? And if so, why do they have such an effect on our bodies and souls?" Vedan paused, allowing Raghav to reflect on the question. Before continuing, Vishwanath replied with wisdom, "Your Majesty, purity and impurity are not so simple. While external rituals like bathing after certain activities can cleanse the body and give us a sense of physical cleanliness, true purity comes from within. What matters most is the state of the mind and the heart, not the body. If one performs these actions with mindfulness, respect, and awareness, then they are not made impure. It is only when one acts carelessly or with harmful intentions that they bring impurity into their life." The sage continued, "The idea that rubbing oil, encountering funeral smoke, or engaging in physical intimacy makes one impure is based on an understanding of the body as a vessel that needs constant cleansing. But in truth, the body is not the source of purity. The source lies in the heart and the spirit. We may cleanse our bodies with water and rituals, but it is the inner state of mind and soul that determines our true purity." Vedan looked at Raghav and said, "What Vishwanath was teaching was that our lives are full of natural processes, many of which are unavoidable and essential to living. They are not inherently bad or impure. The body, like the earth, goes through cycles. Just as the earth is cleansed by rain, so too can the body be cleansed by water. But the real purification, the real tattva, truth, lies in how we approach life with awareness, kindness, and a pure heart." Raghav sat in silence, absorbing the sage's words. "But master," he asked, "does this mean that the rituals of bathing after these activities have no value?" Vedan smiled gently. "The rituals, my son, serve as reminders. They are part of a larger system that helps us cultivate mindfulness. Bathing after certain activities can serve as a symbol of renewal and a way to remind ourselves of the importance of keeping the body and mind in harmony. However, it is not the ritual itself that makes us pure, it is the intention behind it and the mindset with which we approach it." He continued, "The real purity comes when you understand that life is full of natural processes, some of them are joyful, others are sorrowful. Every action, whether it's rubbing oil, encountering funeral smoke, or engaging in relationships, is an expression of life. These actions do not taint the soul if they are performed with respect and mindfulness. It is when we become careless or disrespectful in our actions that impurity enters. Raghiv's heart was at ease. He understood now that true purity was not simply about adhering to external rituals but about living with awareness, respect, and understanding. While rituals like bathing could certainly help maintain physical cleanliness and serve as symbolic acts of renewal, they were not the ultimate measure of purity. What mattered was the heart's devotion to righteousness, the mind's clarity, and the spirit's alignment with truth. Raghiv thanked the sage for his wisdom, and from that day forward, he approached all aspects of life with greater mindfulness and understanding. He no longer feared the label of Chandala after performing natural life activities but instead focused on purifying his heart and mind through virtuous actions, compassion, and awareness. And so, the true path of purification became clear to him. Purity is not merely in external rituals but in the sincere intention and goodness of the heart. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a like, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel for more valuable content like this. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.